Police Department, Sergeant Paul Tapao. Good morning, Sarge.
Hey, afternoon. Good morning, Juan. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Juan. Thanks for joining us on Zoom, Sergeant Paul Tapao.
Yep.
Sarge, I guess just first of all, busy weekend for the Guam Police Department. Were people drinking and driving? What type of weekend did you guys have?
Man, it was pretty, the standard, what we've come to see prior to COVID, and of course, when the onset of COVID. Now that we've lifted restriction, the government-wide, we're starting to see more people out. And yes, you are correct. KWM and all the other media are recipients of the daily blotters, and we have significant arrests that were made relative to DUI offenses, and it just speaks volumes now that people are out and about. We're starting to see an uptick with our DUI arrests, and of course, those attributed to people just going out, hanging out, and socializing. But nonetheless, these are some of the things in which our officers are really trying to buckle down on, and to prevent any fatalities. And that's where we would like to remind the community that although we've lifted the restriction and we are in PCOR 3, that we still need to exercise responsibility, and as always, designate a responsible sober driver, because of the fact that when you get arrested for a DUI offense, whether it be drugs or alcohol, there's a 2-day, maximum 48-hour confinement. So think about what your choices you're going to make. But the weekend was pretty interesting. I'm preparing a release relative to an incident that happened in Dedida. But as I get more information, I'll be able to provide that to you guys. We were able to make an apprehension relative to a stolen vehicle complaint that was entertained by the Dedida Precinct Command. So
is that high-speed chase?
I have to review the reports to see what transpired from that, but I believe that's the report that I'm waiting for from our juvenile section.
Is that involving the taxi, the van?
I believe so. So we are waiting for our juvenile investigators to provide
juvenile
the information.
Investigators? That sounds like there's some teenagers, some youth involved.
How many teenage investigators do you have?
We used to tease them 21 Dumb Street. Yeah, it was a juvenile offense, so I'm going to wait for our investigators to provide the charges that were laid relative to that incident, but that should be forthcoming.
Yeah, I heard there was a whole gangload of police cars going after this, I guess, teenager who, you stole a taxi van? I
think so. I've yet to really open up and view the reports on that.
It sounds like Sabrina already investigated it.
She, for some reason, she's on top of it, so she puts me on check that many times.
Me? No way.
What? Okay, there's a video. It's a viral video.
I don't know if it's viral, but it's a video.
We just say it's viral. If someone puts it on social media, it's viral.
Or goes all around WhatsApp.
Right. So how did this compare with the take a left high-speed chase? Did they take a left or did they take a right? I saw a left.
Well, the thing, Anderson, if you're going all the way up Anderson, you got to take a left, right? You can't go straight unless you're dumb. But
don't cross that blue looking animal. It's a good thing it's not in Barragata, so we'll leave it at that.
Right.
Oh gosh, I'd like to see Paul's next video.
Right. Yeah.
But like I mentioned, that's forthcoming. So I'm actually reviewing the reports and preparing them as we speak. So.
Anything else? Was there? I want to say I heard there may have been a stabbing over the weekend. You hear anything about that?
No, I didn't get any information relative to any stabbing incident.
Okay.
I will verify. The weekend incidents, the high-profile cases. Of course, I get notified, and I work at providing information should it be relevant or if it's ongoing.
You're right.
But every start of the week, it's getting the cases, getting with the precincts, getting with the respective commands, and just establishing what transpired. But through the command chat, I see significant cases, and a lot of it was really pretty much domestic violence and DUI offenses, and to include that incident that occurred in the Dedida precinct, or the Dedida proper. So we continue to track that, but any other significant event, should it warrant immediate press rollout or the presence of, moving forward and providing the information to the greater community, more than likely we'll all be there, myself and to include all the media counterparts, so that we can get the information in a timely manner to the community. But other than what I'm working on, it's really I'm looking at more of DUI and domestic violence and some drug cases.
Right. Sarge, so now that people are kind of, well, a lot of people are not home, going back to work or what have you, out spending that poo in the F-puck, are we seeing an uptick in crimes that maybe we didn't see during the COVID lockdown?
No, it's pretty much, when you compare it to what we were seeing in the COVID lockdown, because the vast majority of the community, or I want to say the entire population, was at home. And, it made it a challenge for a lot of the criminals to be, really brass and everything. But, we still had our knuckleheads out there who committed the crime. In case in point, the GW and GCC burglary that was really started in the onset of COVID, and, tracking the school break-ins. These were issues in which we were facing with the schools that were pretty much shut down in the start of COVID, and it was pretty much just, I want to say, I left to isolation because it was only the workers that were there, and if the school wasn't identified as a food distribution during the COVID operation, then we wouldn't have known of a break-in or any type of crime that was committed there within that property. But when the greater community were at home because of the lockdown, we saw not too many break-ins, not too many theft complaints. It was well managed. A lot of our officers were attending to COVID calls. So it's really, looking at the reports and then moving into where people had to report back to work. We were starting to open up the island, operations started to commence. We were starting to see, break-ins that mirrored pre-COVID. So, in a steady flow and a steady base, it's pretty much in line with prior to COVID. So, with the crimes and of course, what was going on prior, and of course, onset, and where we are now with COVID-19.
What about the status, if you could, an update on the murder investigation into Wanagan?
The Barragata, the Manguilo homicide
this
case?
is pre-COVID.
Yeah, the good thing about that, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but where we are with that case, we haven't classified that as a cold case. So, we are still working that case because there's a lot of things that have been happening with this investigation and with other investigations. So not to really, just to protect the integrity, our investigators continue to work it, and it's really putting the pieces together, but it's still an ongoing case. It's not, we haven't closed it and we haven't filed it as a cold case or suspended the investigation because lack of information. So information that that we receive and so forth, we continue to add supplemental information to this case file, but the case still remains active. It's not considered a cold case, and mind you, that case was in December of 2019, I believe, and we from where we are now, within that length, the optics from the community is it's pretty much. Why are we taking our time? There's a lot of things that go into play when you're dealing with, homicide investigation, and should the evidence and of course the testimonies from the witnesses and of course information that we gather from the greater community be something of a significance, then we will move and we will take actions with that. But again, we would like to assure the community that this case is still an active investigation.
Paul, it's been on social media. I'm sure you probably have seen it. When I saw it, I was kind of really disturbed by it. There's some serious allegations that are being made against the airport fire chief, Mr. Matsunoya. Is there anything you could say about that? Was there an actual complaint? Was it filed with GPD? If so, when and what's the status of that?
I just got wind of that case when it broke on social media. So again, that's one of my my to-do list for today is to follow up with our domestic assault response team. I from the bits and pieces and piecemealing what was transpired via social media and some of the media outlets that provided the story to this. There's some timelines that we need to look into and understand the full the full totality of what had happened and what transpired. So we would continue. I will work at reaching out to our domestic assault response team. They did mention that the statute of limitation had expired, so just to see whether our investigators did initiate a case and took a case, and moving forward where the case is. But again, I can't give a definite answer until I speak to the lead investigator or the case agent that entertained that complaint, because I do understand that the complainant had filed the initial complaint off island I believe in Hawaii. And like I said, I just received this information over the weekend. So give me some time to reach out to the domestic assault response team, the shift supervisor, and I will be able to provide some information for that.
Okay, well, I guess we'll give you a call this afternoon, and hopefully you
Absolutely.
can provide an update on that, because that's a pretty serious allegation and a definitely serious case. Thanks, Paul.
Sarge, anything in closing you want to add here? Anything that you guys need the public to cue in on?
No, it's, we're moving. The schools will be opening up soon. I believe the private schools are trying to get back to the common norm. It's going to be a challenge because of the fact that we're looking at 5 months when we've closed the schools down. And we're going to see an uptick in traffic flow once we've opened the greater population with the Department of Education. But I believe the private schools will be opening up first, and kids are going to be, kids and parents are going to be transiting to and from the school. So, as always, we want to make sure that we welcome the kids back to school safely. I know it's not going to be, DOE had projected 30% of the population will be attending traditional schooling, but nonetheless, just to get back into schools, it's going to be a challenge. You're going to see a lot of delays, a lot of long lines that you drop off your child because of the COVID operations and the COVID procedures. So please, exercise caution when you're out there on the roads, be cognizant of what's going on, and, just take your time, and, we'll slowly get back to the swing of things. And, our primary goal is to make sure that everybody's safe. So stay safe out there, Guam, and, take it slow, and, one day at a time. I think we'll get by with this situation of what's happening with COVID-19.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
All right. Good.
All
All
right,
right.
Sarge.
Take care, guys.
We'll see you. Take
Take
it
care.
easy. Wash your hands. All right, 9:05. We'll take a short break and come back with Attorney General Levin Camacho next on The Link, right here on The Breeze, 93.9, where KUAM-FM, Hagatni, Guam.
GU Self Storage, conveniently located near the